happening? This is Real to Real with Dev Deville, broadcasting live from the Sunshine State. How you feeling, big dog?
Hey, you know what it is. Cuz of Deville, the real deal, true player for real. I'm good, homie. You know how it is. We do what we do, and we back.
Oh, yeah, man. We back from a long little break, man. It's 2020 now, but, you know, as we looking on to the new year, we got to reflect on the last year. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So much happened last year in 2019, man. I think we owe the people a year in review.
We got to do a year in review, man. You can't know where you're going to, you know where you came from.
Exactly.
I mean, you got to know what to expect, you know what I mean? So there's a lot of things that was groundbreaking, revolutionary. A lot of things took off. A lot of things got built up. A lot of things finally happened that people was working on.
Yep.
Just another year in the world, man. So we got to talk about it a little bit. So
I'm going
to let you lead.
I'm going to start it right off, man. We started off the year with the longest shutdown in U.S. history, the longest government shutdown in U.S. history, courtesy of Donald Trump. It was 35 days.
Wow.
And around this time, in the same time that this is going on, Clemson football had won the national championship.
Yep.
And what was trending on social media, really popular about this, was that usually when a team wins a national championship or anything, they'll go to the White House and have a really good meal and a ceremony and all that. Mm-hmm. But because the government was shut down, Donald Trump, he treated them to some McDonald's.
So everybody who works in the government, in the White House, was like, all the chefs was like, nah, we out.
Yeah, exactly.
And he bounced back with it. But I'm pretty sure the young people appreciated McDonald's. I think. I don't think they was, really against it. I'm pretty sure.
I mean, I know me personally, like, as someone who's played athletes or who's played against really good athletes and been an athlete, you know, there's nothing good or better than a greasy burger after you just, you know what I'm saying, whoop some ass.
Right.
So I definitely see where you're coming from, and I think Clemson probably requested that, you know what I'm saying? They probably hit him up like, hey, we don't, you know the situation, this is your option. Me personally, I probably would have went with Popeyes, but McDonald's is a close second for me, so I'll give them that. So shout out to them for that, for the national championship starting it off like that, and good thing that the government shutdown ended after the longest in history, 35 days. That's just how we started off the year.
Yeah, Trump was tripping with that, man. And more from Popeyes coming, too, because they had a lot for the year.
Oh, yeah.
January was crazy, man. That was the same month that I think Kanye started the Sunday service as well.
Oh, yeah, the Sunday service. Mr. Gospel Man. Jesus walks. Yeah.
I definitely think he's going to go back at some point to secular music, but from what they were saying, man, he's done with it. He's all over the world now with it, doing Sunday services, and it was just I think it was just an organic thing that happened. He said he wanted a choir, and he hit up some dude, and the dude got him a choir, and then it's just been growing ever since, and we have, what's the name of that song? You know, the name of that song? That's his single or whatever?
Well, he has the whole album is Jesus is King.
Okay.
And he has a couple of singles on there. It's like Follow God is a really popular one. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of where the Jesus is King came from. It came from the Sunday service. Like you said, it started at the beginning of the year. He wanted 100-person choir. You know what I'm saying? And once he got it, they just went crazy with it. It took off, and you know, you looking every Sunday, you see a Sunday service in the field somewhere, and everybody's wearing all white. And it's a real, if aside the Kanye West clownery aside, I think it's a real cool thing. Mm-hmm. It's a real dope concept. Yep. And obviously it spurred the inspiration for his Jesus is King album, which obviously we'll get into a little bit later. Some other things that were going on in hip hop related in January as well. Tekashi, he pleaded guilty to his federal charges.
That's when it first started.
Yeah, that's where the match was sparked, and he just started snitching from there on out. He was telling on everybody, who Cardi B, Jim Jones, everybody.
He dropped a lot of names, and again, as you'll find out as you listen, it worked for him, to be honest with you. There's no other way to put it. I mean, he went from 47 years to
I can give you 10 million reasons why it worked for him.
Right, yeah. So he's going to come out and most likely be popping, and he's going to definitely set a bad example for young people. They're going to be out here. They're going to probably be just trying to figure. If he come out and he starts swagging, bro, and everybody accepts him, snitching will be accepted. I mean,
no. There's been. No, I'm sorry. I'm young. I can't agree with that. People have been snitching forever. You know what I'm saying? OGs were snitching back in the day. You know what I'm saying? So it's not a brand new thing. It's only normal now because it's in the limelight. And, you know what I'm saying? One case can excuse everybody else's BS. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think that it's going to take off like wildfire and it's going to be cool to snitch. If it is, everybody that I know that's snitching is getting a backhand on sight. That's just how I feel about it.
Again, I'm going with trends. Like usually when something happens in hip hop, in the culture, it becomes trendy. And people do it regardless of the risks.
I got you.
So I can easily see how a young person would say, hey, I was thinking like this at that point in time. I done got bagged up. This particular move will get me back out. And it's not like I'm the first one to do it, and it works. So I could see young people gravitating to that mindset is all I'm saying. I ain't saying it's brand new, but I think that it's more of a let's see, when it's like when one of your favorite players for a team finally gets a ring. It's like, well, it kind of validates, like, you know what I'm saying?
What he's doing, the actions and shit's going on behind the scenes. I got you.
It's kind of hard to explain, but my point is, I think it's going to do more for the trend of snitching than saying, snitches get stitches. I think it's pretty much going to go in the other direction.
Well, I mean, I see where you're coming from in that, and moving right along to someone else is also setting a bad example for people, especially young people. Jussie Smollett, with his situation, how he faked a racially influenced attack to boost his career, which So obviously did the opposite.
Yeah, that didn't work.
So yeah, that's another person that's setting off bad examples for the young people. And again, that's not something that I can stand with. It's not as bad as snitching, but it's pretty bad though. You know what I mean? You go through those links just to boost your career.
Yeah.
It's a little bit extreme. So
I think they came up with a term for that. Is it clout chasing?
Yep, it's clout chasing. Yep,
right, cool.
I think that's a form of clout chasing. Yeah, I would agree with that. I think that's
my
a good.
very first time using that. I'm getting that, man. 2020 gonna be my year, man.
Exactly, man. But while we get focused on 2020, we still got to reflect on everything that was going on in 2019. This is real quick. You know what I'm saying? Just plugging in, just so y'all know what's going on. If you just tuning in, this is our year in review of 2019, man. We appreciate you for locked in. As we moving on throughout 2019, 21 Savage
February.
Also got
February.
arrested in February. Yep. So 21 Savage was arrested by ICE, who is in charge of the immigration regulation. And those were bars right there. Write that down. But the immigration regulation, and basically taking those that are not supposed to be here and moving them elsewhere. And 21 Savage was a popular name that got caught up in that. And for those that aren't aware, he's a UK citizen who came here on a visa that expired. Wow. And nobody would know that. You know what I'm saying? Everybody thinks he's like a hardcore gangster from Atlanta. And I'm sure his upbringing turned him into that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But originally, he was, you know what I'm saying, sipping tea.
Sipping
what I mean? You know what I mean? Eating crumpets. You know what I'm saying? So 21 Savage is still a good artist in my eyes. But yeah, that was something that he faced in the February time at the beginning of the year. He was arrested.
And
so
shout out to the OGs, which is who I represent from. If you're brand new to this concept, this is real. Like, I go back and forth with the homie Dev.
Always.
Because he's the young guy. I'm the OG. So I represent for the classics. He works for the current. And again, the OG stepped up to help the man out. Because Jay-Z is the one who campaigned, and he got a lot of people behind that. And I think he put some money. I think he funded for the lawyers and all that. So again, we all need each other.
Oh yeah, I mean, when you got Jay-Z money, the best lawyers are just gonna flood in. You know what I mean? And 21 Savage is still in the country, still putting out music, still traveling, you know what I mean? So Jay-Z did something right. So again, like you said, man, shout out to the OG for looking out for the young homie. Two greats in their own kind of era, you know what I'm saying, handling business and looking out for each other. So shout out to him. Moving along in February, right around the same time as the 21 Savage situation, the Patriots won their Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, they're officially at six rings, which is the most for any franchise and the most for any quarterback. So shout out to Tom Brady. Even though I'm a Giants fan and I hate Tom Brady, I still have to sit back and reflect on the greatness that is him. So
well, he'll be sitting back and reflecting himself.
Oh yeah, he will be.
He just got put out of there by the homie from Duval.
Yeah.
Derrick Henry, man. Shout out to the Titans. They did their thing. Shout out to the Jaguars. They did their thing best they could. But last year, man, 2019 was a crazy year. That was the same year El Chapo got sentenced. They found him again. I mean, again, that's crazy. And I don't know what they're going to do with this wall when they got tunnels like they got, man.
Yeah, but the crazy thing about El Chapo situation was that he got life plus 30 years. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So even when he dies, he's still gonna be locked
I guess
up
they figure
for 30 years.
He lives underground too well. Like he's an underground king.
I got you.
So they probably had to just make sure. But that's a cool situation, man. Shout out to everybody who want to be dope boys.
I guess, yeah. Nobody can be, not everybody can be an El Chapo.
Right.
But you can get locked up like him, though.
Yeah. All right, so in the middle of February, I see we had YNW Melly.
Yeah. So he got locked up, or he really turned himself in for a double homicide of two of his friends. So just to really touch base on it, situation was those two friends of his threatened his mother and, you know what I'm saying, tried to rob her or whatever, and then told her to be quiet about it or they'd kill her or something like that. And so what he allegedly did was, in the car with those two, he shot them both in the back of the head, and then he turned himself in, and he's still in jail right now, but he is on pace to get out in late 2020, as it was, they try to frame it as there were previous situations that caused that reaction. So it wasn't,
he got lucky.
He got really lucky. So
I need to read that defense. I need a text version of exactly what he said.
Yeah,
because that's the only reason I don't let my whole anger issue go out of, like retaliate. That's basically retaliation.
Yeah. It really is.
You know what I'm saying?
I think another thing of it is that in his music you can kind of verbally and kind of visually tell that he's mentally not all the way there, and I think they use that to lighten his situation up as well.
Yeah, me neither. I'm not there either. For the record, I am not there. So
if anybody asks,
somebody size me about my mom or my shorty, you know what I mean? I would love to find out the liberating terminology.
I got you.
Associated with that type of action.
Speaking of liberating, Tristan Thompson in February was caught cheating with cheating on Khloe Kardashian with Jordan Woods, and he liberated himself from that situation, as all men that are dating a Kardashian should do. Right, and you will liberate yourself right now, and that's what Tristan Thompson did. He got caught up in February. Alleged? Is it alleged anymore?
Black men don't cheat, man. You know, black men don't cheat. That man wasn't cheating. That man was just trying to see what size her. She said she had lost some weight. And
he was just trying to see. He was trying to understand the diet routine because he's an athlete. He wants to be healthy. I see where you come from. I get it. I get it.
February was crazy.
It really was crazy. Moving right on into March time, Mr. R. Kelly. He has his breakdown.
That's when he first started. Is that the one with Gail?
With Gail King.
Yeah.
He had his meltdown on camera.
He went out like a sucker, man.
He really did.
Because the fake crime, because I didn't know anything about the fake crime until I seen.
Yeah.
I thought he was crying for real, but then when I seen Surviving R. Kelly, everybody, all 20,000 of the girls said he was fake. He always fake cry. And so I was like, dang, okay, that's a real thing.
A master of manipulation, man.
Yeah. And then I actually watched this YouTube video that described how like actions that liars do. You know what I'm saying? They was like, they pointed out so many different things. They knew he was, to the way he pointed his toe. I mean, it could be coincidence, but the thing about it, R. Kelly is just in a world of trouble these days.
Yeah, man. I think he's just a troubled individual, and they need to take him off the streets and keep him away from the girls.
So you saying he should be locked up for life?
I don't think it's hard to even really put my perspective on that. You know what I'm saying? I think the things that he did, what he has allegedly done, I think he should, because I know if that was my daughter, it would be worse. You know what I'm saying? Right. So from that perspective, yes. But if it's not true, or if there's gaps in the truth, you know what I'm saying? It has to really be analyzed. But it doesn't matter if he was wrong or right, because nobody's going to, you know what I'm saying? People are still going to side with him regardless.
Wow. Well, that's deep. Well, I was just thinking, it had the thing about it, why I wouldn't want him to, I ain't going to say why I want him. I don't care what the fuck they do.
Yeah.
But my point is, he had a lot of help. You know what I'm saying? This was not something that he could do by himself. Yeah. The girls had to have some level of participation. His staff, and any and everybody who knows him since, you know what I'm saying, the days of Aaliyah, bro, they gotta have, if they don't face no consequences, he can't just take the whole grunt of the whole. I mean, it's totally his actions, but again, his actions were aided and abetted by his staff, a friend, I don't know who it was.
Somebody had to be aware of what he was doing.
People knew for years, bro, so how could you lock this man up forever when he had help? So it's accomplice. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't gonna even approach the accomplices, I mean,